So if you haven't seen it, my most recent video is about how HBO Max will be fielding all of the 2021 unreleased films from Warner Brothers. They will be releasing on both HBO Max and in theaters, and if not in theaters, just HBO Max in general. If you have been watching a lot of my content and a lot of my videos, you would know that Christopher Nolan is my favorite director of all time, and he, of all people, did comment on this whole business with the 2021 movies and HBO Max. And let's just say he absolutely does not agree with what's going on, and I don't agree with what's going on either. I am going to read the statement for you that he released just a couple of days ago, and I will also put a link into the description so you can see it for yourself. There's articles everywhere, Hollywood Reporter, The Verge, IGN, you name it, you can find it everywhere, but I will put a link down below so you can read it for yourself. So this is the statement that Christopher Nolan had to say about HBO Max and Warner Brothers. Some of our industry's biggest filmmakers and most important movie stars went to bed the night before thinking they were working for the greatest movie studio and woke up to find out they were working for the worst streaming service. He also added that the studio had an incredible machine for getting a filmmaker's work out everywhere, but claims it's dismantling it in a move which makes no economic sense. There's such controversy around it because Warner Brothers didn't tell anyone. In 2021, they've got some of the top filmmakers in the world, and they've got some of the biggest stars in the world who worked for years in some cases on these projects very close to their hearts that are meant to be big screen experiences. They're meant to be out there for the widest possible audiences, and now they're being used as a loss leader for the streaming service, for the fledgling streaming service without any consultation. There's a lot of controversy, he also added. It's sort of not how you treat filmmakers and stars and people who these guys have given a lot for these projects. They deserve to be consulted and spoken to about what was going to happen to their work. So I don't really know what else needs to be said about this. Christopher Nolan puts it in the best terms possible, and I think he's absolutely right. Considering how much time and effort people have put into these big projects that take years to film, they take months to pan out, sleepless nights, long days, it kind of seems like a spit in the face, even the fact that Warner Brothers didn't even consider to tell them what their plan was in the first place. I could sit here for the next 20 minutes explaining why I agree with Nolan and why I disagree with Warner Brothers, but I'm not going to do that because what Nolan had to say perfectly sums up everything I kind of feel about the situation as well. I've said this in my last video, there's a traditional sense behind going to the cinemas to especially see some of these big budget films. Like Dune is going to be all in IMAX, or most in IMAX. You can't really get that same experience when you're just sitting at home. And I know there's so much more that goes into it. There's a whole business side that goes into this now, especially with how weird the world has been this past year. And there's just so much behind the scenes work, and there's just so much business and analytics that you really have to look at. But at the end of the day, with a corporation as big as Warner Brothers, I think you can take the time to step back, sit, wait for things to get back to normal, and you'll have no issues. This is not something that I think they should just be like, too bad if you don't like it, we're putting it on our streaming service. My appreciation for watching these movies on the big screen will outweigh anything I feel for watching a movie off a streaming service at home. You know, with multiple production companies kind of stepping into the fold and threatening to sue Warner Brothers, such as Legendary, who works on all of Nolan's films and basically has a tight-knit relationship with Warner Brothers in general. This speaks volumes. The fact that they are willing and threatening to sue because they weren't communicated with. Nothing was talked about. If they don't like the decision, you know, it's understandable how everyone might not like this decision. I think the biggest problem here is the lack of communication. With that being said, it is what it is. We'll see how HBO Max handles these movie releases, whether we like it or not, and hopefully something changes. Maybe they come to an agreement where certain movies just can't come out on streaming services. And a movie like Dune or Godzilla that's meant to be seen on the big screen, you will have to see it on the big screen. And if not, well, you'll have to wait till release. And you'll have to purchase the movie normally, like everyone else would have to do, before you could just purchase it on a streaming service. Literally delivered to your door in record time the same day as it was released in theaters. So we'll just have to see what happens. Alright guys, see ya.